to another one. So in this video, we're going to talk about bill settlements, discounts, and any other bill modification that includes the open dish and client information in a bill. So let's talk about the open dish. What does this actually mean? So sometimes you get group packages or groups that with whom you agree that let's say you have 12 people who are coming down for lunch or dinner, and they have a set budget or a set fee of let's say 50,000 per head. So there are two options you can do here. You can either you can add all those items that everyone is gonna take one at a time, which might be a little bit tricky in most cases. Alternatively, you can group these into the departments you have. For example, if you agreed that 30,000 is gonna go to the kitchen for food, and 20,000 is gonna go to 20,000 per head is gonna go to the bar for drinks, then you can send them out as open dish. So you don't have items, you don't have such items in your menu, though you would add them as probably group packages and all that, and then end up just discounting them when they come. But if you want to create this on the go, this is not something that is gonna be saved permanently in your menu, but rather just something that's gonna be specific for this bill. So I can say this is dinner for 12. So the dishes are gonna be 12 and each is 50,000. So I'm gonna choose a department to where these actually belong to. So like I said, this can go to the kitchen, for example, or you could rather separate this and say this is 30,000 that goes to the kitchen. So when I create the open dish, that's gonna be added, and from here on, this can also be treated as a separate thing. You can actually add a note for the person in the kitchen that these people have chicken, goat ribs, for example, and white rice, for example. So it's set dinner for 12 at 360,000 in total, and we're set for the kitchen. Then you could do the same thing for the bar. This is maybe drinks for 12. So the count is gonna be 12, and this is at 20,000, and this goes to the bar. So when I create this, you'll notice that we have dinner and then drinks for 12 people. So you can go ahead and if you agreed on something, depending on what you agreed, you could say 2 soft drinks for each, and just add a note for the barman. So that's what the open dish does, and once you confirm that, this is actually sent out. So you have dinner for 2 with the modification and then the drinks. So anyone who is in the bar should see the order, and so will the kitchen person. So that's a little something about the open dish. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is the client information on a bill. So when you come to printing a bill, you'll notice that sometimes clients come as a company and they might want to add their company information on the bill. So how do you actually do that? So when you select the bill, just hit this plus button, and you can either choose from an existing client, because every time you create a new client, this is going to be saved in your client list, which is right here, which you can actually modify as more information comes in or changes. So let's add some little information here. I can say this person is from a company. I'm gonna use ProDev group. The address we can use Chira in Uganda, and we can say it's at ProDev, and the contact is gonna be maybe 2567. It's just a random number, for example. So when I save this, so there's that client actually exists with the email. So the client is actually to server. So I can't add that, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna pick Armstrong as a client, for example. So when I view the bill again, you'll notice that I now have client information on the bill. So you won't be able to add a client if there are two things: if the email address you entered or the contact you've entered actually belongs to someone else. So you will see the previous notification like we just saw. So that's how you add information for a client. So when you print this out, it will look exactly as you see it here. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was the settlement. So to settle a bill, of course, this works with the currently selected bill. So we are looking at this one, balcony 001. So the selected bill is always highlighted in that shade of blue. So when I come to settle, the assumption here is that a client has already been given a bill and they've paid you this amount of money, which sums up to 608,500. So you have 3 to 4 different options of settling this amount. So to start with is a direct settlement. So direct settlement means the client actually has all this amount of money in cash, mobile money, or Visa. So if that's the case, you're gonna go with a direct settlement. In an instance where a client wants to pay, for example, 400,000 in cash and then probably send you the rest in mobile money or Visa, you can split this up to 3 times. So you could receive 400,000 in cash, and then receive the 208,500 on card, for example. So if I settle this and I come to sales, you'll notice that my total sale is just that amount we've just settled, and like we specified, 400,000 was cash and 208,500 was Visa. So that's what the split settlement does. So the other modes of settlement are company. So this is the credit settlement. So this works in instances where you have clients that pay after a certain period of time. So let's say I know Mbabazi, for example. So if I select Mbabazi and I say save this payment, a settlement is gonna be made, and when you come to your settlements, you'll notice that so on your report, you'll notice that this is your total sale, and you have a company settlement of 205,000. So in such an instance, of course, when you view or when this report is sent out to your email, you will notice that there's a section that has Where discount, item cancellation, credit bills. So you will have a credit section which will highlight what bill was settled uh, as credit and to whom does this credit belong to. So that's a small highlight about. So at the end of the day, whenever this person comes back to make a payment, all you need to find is the bill. So when you come to find a bill, this was done today, so it's easy. But you can also search bills by a client. So you're gonna pick a client and then a duration within which you want to look for them. So this is the bill. So you have this option to add the payment when they come back to make a payment. So in this case, what happens is that when you receive this amount of money, it's gonna be added on today's sales, and the bill is gonna pull back to today. So this is meant for future purposes. You can as well, in some cases, if a client wants a statement of their bills, for example, if I look for Mbabazi, of course this is one, but I can export this in Excel. I can say this is Mbabazi, and when I check downloads, I have Mbabazi. Sorry, I have no Excel installed here, but you can open this up in Excel and probably just share them with them this information and the draft. So that's all things to do with settlements. So I hope this benefits you. If something is not really clear, just leave us a comment in the video description, or probably just send us an email at pos at prodevkampala.com. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.